Can you hear me? Is it showing up? Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Cool. Can you hear me? Is it showing up?
Something,
Can you hear that?
yeah.
Cool. Can you hear me? Is it showing up? What's going on?
Something, it's on
Can you hear
delay
that?
somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Can you hear me? Is it showing up? Do you have the YouTube open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something. There we go.
Cool.
That was crazy.
Infinite.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just repeating. And then there's a lot of, it sounded like you're talking in a drying machine or something. There's just a lot of noise going on.
Echo chamber.
Oh, fuck.
All right, well, let me just finish this patty and then we can start the intro or whatever.
Did you ever, I see that you got my business logo here in GIMP. Did you ever resize this for that canvas yet?
Oh shit, I totally forgot about that. Let me I'll finish that this weekend actually for sure. I totally fucking spaced on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do that though.
All right, cool. I imagine that's probably what you started doing. That's why it's here.
Yeah, I fucking I think I was starting to do it and then I just spaced on it. But yeah, it should only take a couple of minutes. So
All right.
cool. Let me just restart Restream chat really quick because it's like lagging out for some reason. And then we should be good to go. Restream. Okay, got some viewers. You guys been enjoying watching me eat. Very cool. Very cool. There's no avoiding it today. Okay.
Oh, that's right. I guess we're streaming. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no loading screen, so they're just watching me eat a sandwich while we're getting prepped.
Nice.
Oh well. Well, I think that's all good to go.
Okay.
We're good. So, although I plan on doing the actual stream, or not like a virtual stream next time, when we do have a virtual guest, we should probably figure out how we get the settings right for audio and shit.
Yeah, it's
that way we can have the music and all that bullshit, not just have it just just have the Zoom call up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there'll be a small learning curve, I think.
But I guess we're getting some of the learning curve out of the way by doing it together without a guest. So there's some pros to it. Alrighty, is it 7? Oh, it's 7. All right, cool. What's up, anyone watching? Episode 44, apparently, right?
Yeah, I haven't recorded yet though.
Oh, you haven't hit record? All right. Cool.
No. Are you ready?
I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay. We are live. Oh wait, and so video chat stream, right? There we go. Okay.
All right. Does it look good in OBS? You have OBS?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, cool. What's up, everyone? Episode 44, and welcome to the podcast.
Welcome back for the 44th time.
It's fucking crazy. It's been that many times now.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. Math always surprises me when you put it all together. It's like, holy shit, I've done that many times.
After this episode... Oh, wait, go ahead.
I was going to say, it could be the opposite, too. It'd be like, oh my god, I've only done that many times?
Yeah. Well, considering every episode is 2 hours long, it's quite a lot of content. We have after this episode, we'll have around 88 hours of content. So
yeah,
that's a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's a good amount. I mean, it's a respectable amount, I guess, starting out. It's compared to other people, though, it's probably nothing,
Right.
like people that have been doing it for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But still, I think we're doing it more frequently than a lot of people. Maybe I don't know how many podcasts are doing it twice a week, but it seems like that's quite a lot.
Yeah, if they're doing it twice, I think on average we're probably putting out more content than the average podcaster. They might be doing it at the same frequency, but they probably aren't doing it as long as we're doing it,
Yeah.
2 hours twice a week. So
Yeah.
then you have like the behemoths like Joe Rogan. He does like 3 hour podcasts like every other day or some shit. So
Does he really?
yeah, he does them all the time.
Damn, that's crazy. I didn't know.
That's his full-time job though,
Yeah. No, I didn't know he did it that often.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like every day. He'll just have a different guest on every day.
Damn. Right on. Right on,
So,
right on. I forgot my damn water. Oh, it's gonna be a sad day.
You can go grab it real quick if you want.
Nah, I'll get by. If I need it, I'll go grab it.
Okay. Yeah. So plugs. If you guys want to check us out on Apple and Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, for anyone wondering, we've been doing this virtual thing because I've been feeling a little under the weather, which is really obnoxious personally. It's like I'm not even like that sick, but it's like just like when you get like very slightly sick, it feels like your body's like fighting something off, and it's just annoying.
Yeah.
How I feel, and I'm like just like obnoxiously tired all the time right now.
Yeah, that's weird you said that because today's been a real lethargic day for me.
Yeah, I noticed that when I came said what's up to you, you seemed real tired when I was like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, there's a little bit of lack of sleep and then just, I don't know, it could be my body fighting something off too, I guess. But I thought I just went through that last week where I was not feeling so well. And then, I felt great the next day. So that was kind of weird.
Oh, yeah. Jake, what's up, Jake, by the way? Thanks for reminding me, though. I always forget this. We also have a Discord channel for anyone that wants to join this message. We'll give you the link to the Discord. But yeah, cool.
Right on.
And also, Grandpa, what's up?
What's up, Jim? What's up, Snakes? Did you do the plugs yet, real quick? Or did
I
you
just
do
did.
that? Okay,
I just did them.
Yeah.
But Jake was telling me that I had forgotten Discord, so
good
looking out, man.
Nice. He's gonna take your plug job, man.
We'll just have like an audio clip of him doing the plugs. Play that.
Nice. For some reason, my video just like blurred out when I leaned forward and leaned back.
I think it like tried focusing on you.
That's weird. I wonder if I should do that again. Yep.
So, yeah, there you go.
I fixed it. That is weird, man.
You got too close, and I think it rearranged the focus of it.
Autofocus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking technology. Right on.
Cool, man. How's your last few days been?
Good. Pretty hectic, like usual. Just kind of trying to catch up with the business here. We're so behind, and got a lot of people kicking and screaming and asking us when we're going to be there at their house, and can't be everywhere at once. So, yeah, it's been pretty stressful actually. So, but it's been good. The reason why it's been so stressful is because I haven't been able to put the amount of time and effort into bringing jobs in and selling and all that good stuff as I wanted to. And so that's provided a lot of stress for me, although I've had to step onto the site and knock some of these jobs out. It's just knowing that I'm not putting effort or momentum into that part of it has really stressed me out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good. Me and Malia had was that this week? Yeah, well, I think we had an episode after that, but yeah, I think I talked about her birthday on Tuesday. And if I didn't, I guess I am now. But yeah, she had her 8th birthday. We celebrated that, had a little nice simple dinner. And today we went to go run around Tacoma and do a couple things.
Yeah, how was that?
It's pretty good. Yeah, would
you go see like that dinosaur thing? Is that what you guys went to do?
Yeah, we went and did that. I got a few things on the review list, so that was one. Yeah, that was one of them.
Cool. All right, we'll get into that later then.
But yeah, it was cool for what it was. Definitely overpriced, like a lot of things are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good though. What about you?
Oh, it's been good. It's been like pretty lazy. I've just been like relaxing and just doing like my college work and stuff and working on music. But besides that, like I just been really tired. So I just been, it's really weird. Like even like the other night I went to play video games even at the end of the night, like after I did all my work and stuff. And I was just like, man, I just want to go to fucking bed. I'm just fucking pooped, man. I don't get it.
I remember I used to do that. Like, God, I used to hate that actually. I would kind of get psyched up to play a game, and then as I'm playing it, I'm like, I'm just tired. Like 10 minutes into it or something, I'm like,
That's what happened to you when you were playing Last of Us, right? Recently.
yeah, kind of. No, I was actually into that game.
Okay.
Like legit into that game, which is kind of weird because I hadn't played a game in like a year, maybe longer. And then especially a campaign where I can just kind of get submerged into it. So that was pretty cool. Had a good storyline.
Yeah. Also, here we go. I always feel like I butcher her name. Is it Rayana? Jake's
Oh yeah.
wife? All right,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, she said happy birthday, Malia. So you might want to
Oh, right on. Thank you.
let Malia know
I'll
that.
let her know that. Yeah.
Well, Malia's pooped today, huh? She's all passed out on the couch when we came home.
Yeah, we're both like that. I'm like, man, you're falling asleep. You're gonna make me fall asleep here, and I gotta be driving.
Oh, she was passing out in the truck.
Oh, before we even got there, and then after too.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so I just been letting her sleep. She's been sleeping for an hour now already. So
Oh damn.
I know, right? If she's still sleeping after this, she's been sleeping for over 3 hours, and so shit. Hopefully, she's gonna stay up all night now
Right.
and mess her schedule up.
Yeah. Maybe Heather will accidentally wake her up while she's down there.
Yeah, she's been good. She's been real lethargic too today. I think I don't know. She just, I guess she woke up early too. She said so.
Rihanna asked, "Hey Ben, do you have a pre-show routine? Are you talking about pre like podcast or pre like music show routine?"
Oh yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah.
Good question for a good question.
They're both good questions. We can answer the virus one pretty quick. For the virus, we usually try to get here like 6:40 because we have to do all this like technical setup for the podcast. We have like a checklist that we run through where like we have to like start the podcast and then first we have to like rename the podcast and then start streaming it, and we have like this service that streams it to 3 different services, and then we have to make some posts on social media and stuff, and then make sure everything's working, the video and the audio and stuff. Okay. So that's basically the whole thing. But they were actually asking about music, but I just went through the podcast one while we were waiting for their answer anyway.
Pre-show routine. No, that's actually a really good question. I guess I really don't. Sometimes I'll just sit there. Like if I have a few minutes, sometimes I'll just sit there and play on my guitar with no just raw, just kind of stretch the fingers and warm up the hands a little bit. But there's really no pre-routine. The thing that sucks about that is I usually enjoy watching bands prior to us playing, and so I don't really always make the time to go start warming up the fingers before we actually play because I'm always interested in checking out the bands prior to.
I feel like you really should. Personally, what I like to do is I like to actually like physically warm up my hands, try to get the blood flowing in them. I know I haven't played a show in a long time. I used to drink a beer or two before we played to kind of loosen everything up a little bit, but I wouldn't do that now. But yeah, I would definitely be sitting there with my guitar and at least doing like scale patterns or something, just trying to get my hands moving for sure.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, and I forgot about the beer. I do usually have a beer before I start too.
Calm the nerves a little bit.
It's funny because I don't usually, it just depends on the night. More times than not, I will not have a beer until right before I play the set because I don't want to be 2 beers into it when I go on to play. I'm a lightweight,
I usually am fine with 2, but I don't want to have more than 2 before I'm playing because then you start playing slightly sloppy.
Yeah.
And anything more than 3, you're starting to play it. You're starting to get actual sloppiness in there.
Noticeably sloppy.
Yeah. Where you're playing the same riff, you're like, oh shit, that was a change. We were supposed to be playing something else now.
Yeah, the one beer just takes the edge off, really.
Mm.
So it's like it's good to kind of loosen up a little bit.
I like to like drink one beer while I'm warming up, and then have another beer like sitting on my amp that I can kind of like sip during the set.
Yeah,
Not like chugging it or whatever, but just kind of keep that slight buzz going throughout the 30 minutes or whatever that you're up there.
yeah. That's my first beer is the one that goes on the stage with me. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, I'm technically drinking my first beer while I'm playing. So, but yeah, no real ritual. Probably should start getting some kind of pre-show routine going out. Maybe start meditating or something.
Yeah, that might be good, man. Maybe ask Brando for some tips for that.
Yeah. Well, that'd be pretty difficult at a show. I have to really go isolate myself. So
go into your truck and start chanting.
Yeah. For me personally, I don't see myself, if I start meditating, I don't see myself being the one who would be able to meditate well with a lot of noise and distractions going on. I feel like I would love to be in a quiet area.
Yeah.
So I can focus a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think he was talking about that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think he said he's a little bit better at it now, but it used to be pretty hard for him. So.
Yeah.
Well, right on. Do you have some topics, or should we freeball them?
Yeah, I got a few topics. I just thought of another topic.
I kind of have a ranty one, or it could be kind of something else. I really want to talk about companies just like bandwagoning on like politics and the election, and like everywhere you go, everyone's like, "Are you voting?" Like I go on Facebook. Facebook's like, "Have you registered to vote?" I go like on Discord. I think asked me for registered to vote. Snapchat. And I just don't understand why all these companies are so invested in politics. You know what I mean? So I think we could get into that maybe.
Yeah.
It could be a rant or it could be an actual topic. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know why that's happening also. Yeah, I really couldn't. I kind of, on the fly, just made some topics up, really.
Yeah.
I have all these ideas, and for some reason, I've got them all scattered. I got like 2 notepads where I'm jotting them down, and then I got my voice recorder, and I just can't seem to find some of my notes. And I was like, damn it, I know I had like a handful of topics on the back burner that we haven't got to yet. So I have to.
Ben, I had an idea that I can kind of discuss with you on the podcast. So I thought it'd be kind of funny to just tease it some more because we were talking about. You remember the idea we had? We were talking about building that thing.
Yeah.
I think we should try to get that finished by episode 50 and unveil it for episode 50.
Okay.
Cool. Just to tease it even more, not let people know what it is.
Right. What is this thing we're talking about here?
But that gives us, like 2-3 weeks to get it ready. So I think that's definitely doable for us.
Yeah, I think so. We just need to make the time to, like, I don't know, probably
Actually,
YouTube some references to, as far as there might be a quick way to, kind of build it.
I'm sure it'll only take like 2 hours tops total to make it. So
yeah, you just got to get the material for it. That might take
actually dedicate some time to doing it.
Mm-hmm. But that'd be cool. That'd be exciting because then once we get backlogged with topics, this is a great way to kind of recycle topics. And so
yeah,
we'll have to get creative because there's gonna have to be a way. I think the piece that we're gonna have topics on should be like a dry erase board or something, so we can easily erase sections if we talked about it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Instead of an ink, so then we don't have to replace the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Something
True.
like that. I don't know. I've thought about a couple ideas, just haven't really put enough time into it.
Tiny little dry erase things. Okay, yeah, we can discuss that more some other time. But yeah, that's cool. It's cool ideas.
Keep you guys on your toes. Keep you wondering. But okay. So let's see here. Let's talk about the Contagious Combo right now, which is going to be, lo and behold, COVID-19 again.
Right.
and we don't have to really just focus on that, but kind of what's been going on right now, what I've been hearing in the news a lot is a spike in cases again, right? And so now I'm kind of getting worried again that we're gonna revert back to shutting things down. I just have a bad feeling because all I'm hearing is negativity right now, as far as things just spiking and going through the roof again, and people not doing what they're supposed to, and all this shit. The fear is ramping up.
Yeah, I just don't understand why it would spike more now. Is it really? I wonder if it's just affected by the weather, like the virus can't live in the sun as well. You know what I mean? Because I don't feel like people have changed their habits at all. Basically, like everyone's acting exactly the same. So I don't really feel like anyone's changed their habits in summer till fall. If anything, people will be spending less time around other people in the fall, right? Because they're not out as much. So
you would think, yeah.
So you would think that the numbers would be going down. So it's kind of peculiar.
There's a lot of speculations on it, like maybe it's spiking again because people are thinking that, I don't know, it's diminished and it's not that big of a deal, and then it's gone back up. I don't know. I think whatever's been going on has always been going on. Maybe, there's another suggestion that since we're able to actually test people more now, the rates or the confirmed cases have gone up. You know what I mean? Because we didn't really have anything to test accurately when it first came out. So maybe it was the same numbers existing back then that it is now, and we're just now getting these results. I don't know. There's just a lot of uncertainty about it yet again. But I am afraid that it's going to go back into shutting down, which
isolation mode.
Huh?
Isolation mode.
Isolation mode. Yeah, I'm afraid for people in general and like mental health and that aspect of it. I'm actually looking forward to it from a business standpoint again, because that's what actually helped me when this first happened, is because I leaned into it and did a lot of things that other companies weren't doing. And so I'm prepared to do that again. So I'm kind of looking forward to that if that happens again.
Right. Huh. I think if we do shut down again, I think people will know how to handle it better this time, though, than the first time.
Yeah.
I really don't see it shutting down again, though. Like I feel like people have kind of shown that, like, if we take the proper precautions, wearing the mask, washing your hands, that it doesn't really spread that hardcore. Especially up here in Washington, like it has spread, but it's been like consistently kind of slow spread. Right? Yeah.
I don't know. This might seem one of the least impactful reasons as far as why it bothers me that this is still just prolonging. But not being able to, I just thought about this the last episode when we were talking about, that you asked me if I seen that one girl's face. And I was like,
right.
Yeah, at that restaurant I was talking to. And I was like, no, I haven't. But that is one thing that's like a concern for me at the top of the list. I'm like, it just bothers me that you cannot see people's face. You can't even, like today I was in the restaurant and this, lady was like, we're walking by each other. Like smiling is like a huge way of, it's an affirmation type of thing. You know what I mean? So just even smiling at somebody projects a lot of feelings and creates a lot of connection just with a fucking smile. And so it's really bothering me that you can't even display facial expressions. It might sound stupid and it might sound corny or a non-issue, but for me it's actually a huge issue. I can't stand that part of this. It's like we cannot even fucking communicate properly. We can't just with mannerisms and gestures and facial expressions.
I agree with what you're saying, but I would also argue that a lot of your facial emotions are in your eyes, though, for sure. Like when you if you smile without smiling with your eyes, it just looks fake. For instance.
Absolutely.
And I seen one of my friends. I seen Tori. You know Tori. I seen her at the store the other day, and I was just like, we were kind of like far apart, so I just like smiled at her and waved, and she smiled back, and I could see that she was smiling even with her mask on. So, but I get what you're saying, though. It's a lot harder sometimes to discern people's emotions and expressions with the mask on.
Yeah, and someone you know is a lot easier to kind of predict their facial expression,
Right.
but someone you don't know, like I don't know. Even if you can tell that they're smiling, it's not the same as actually seeing that person smile. Um, I don't know what it is, but actually being able to see a person's true form is just much different than trying to imagine. I guess true form versus imagination is what I'm talking about. I guess, and that part is it sucks, man, especially with people you don't know. You know,
Right.
they're just left to guess. Like, I don't know if he's smiling. I have no idea what he looks like when he smiles. I have no idea. There's just you don't have the impact that you normally would have if you actually were smiling without a mask on. So it bothers me. Like I said, it's probably something that doesn't bother a lot of people, or they just don't give it much thought. But that's one of the things might seem small to some people, but it fucking bothers me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I will also say though I enjoy people not seeing my smile as much. 'Cause I fucking hate my smile. So it's nice. It's nice to be able to just like the smile with the mask. I'll be like, yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, I mean,
that's my own problem.
yeah. So, and it doesn't matter what you think. There might be people who enjoy your smile.
Yeah, I think there are, but I'll just say for my own selfish reasons. I'm like, I don't mind it too much.
Yeah, maybe a lot of people don't enjoy their smile. I can't really honestly say that I enjoy my smile, but I enjoy projecting a smile. You know what I mean? Like I would like to think a lot of people enjoy just seeing a smile.
Seeing a smile is one of the, it's one of the best parts about being alive. Just sharing joy together.
Yeah, well, it's a connection thing. Like there's a guy who I follow, and he's got a lot of valuable information. He's a professional negotiator. He used to work hostage negotiation. His name's Chris Voss, and he talks a lot about this stuff. He talks a lot about things that really solidify a connection with a human being. Simple things from like repeating either the last three words or just three words in a statement that someone has made. You know what I mean? Like just repeating it back, like that's it's weird how all these simple things are actually a great way to let somebody know that you understand them, they're understanding you, and there's a connection going on here. And a smile was one of those things he was talking about. Just being able to smile and lock in a connection there. It builds trust.
Isn't that usually how relationships are built too? Like, if you're like if you work with someone you're attracted to, or like you go to school with them or whatever, you know what I mean? And then you got like share a moment and you both like laugh together, like you instantly get that emotional connection usually, right?
So, oh yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. But that's one of the things this is just stressing me out. You're probably about to go to the comments so really quick, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Unless my grandpa's just doing a lot of speculating. He's like, small group meetings, schools are opening. An interesting thing he said is he said they say that only 45% of people nationwide are wearing masks. And I'm like, where is that happening at? Because I feel like in Washington, I feel like it's at the store it's very high. I guess if you go to like the park or something, no one's wearing a fucking mask. Like when I went to the skate park, for instance, I think there was like me and Heather were wearing a mask, and there was like maybe one other kid that was wearing a mask, and there's like 40 fucking kids there, So I guess maybe that statistic is true overall, but I would say like if you go to a grocery store, it's like 95% of people are wearing masks. I've got like one jackass or two people that aren't wearing a fucking
mask. I don't know. I feel like, for instance, I went to Parkside Cafe in Olympia, right? And they're doing the whole walk up window. You just walk up and they open the window. There's some shit that just seems silly to me, man. Like, and there's another thing I'll use as an example here too, but I walked up there and you're outside. I'm outside when I'm actually ordering the food. And I'm like, maybe not 6 feet, but I could be 6 feet. I was like 4 feet away, maybe something like that. And I was standing there, I was ordering food. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to need you to wear a mask. And I was like, I'm outside. Like, I'm not even in close parameters. So it's more like a power trip thing for some people, some businesses. Because in my personal opinion, there's no reason for me to be wearing a mask when I'm outside. So I don't understand that part, especially for someone that doesn't take it as seriously. I really get irritated with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I could see, because like if you're sitting there, because everyone's standing there, right, after you leave. I mean, it will definitely like dissipate more outside, so it's less likely to just linger around and spread. But if you're sitting there without a mask talking in that area, and other people go up and walk there, it might be more likely to catch it if you're like an asymptomatic spreader. You know what I mean? Like if you have it, but you're not actually sick.
Yeah, I mean, people these days, though, just assuming that everybody's keeping the distance, which they are. I mean, when I was walking up to there was people kind of dispersing a little bit and creating that space.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are being followed. So I don't understand. I don't know. It's just the outside concept of wearing a mask. Really, it just throws me off. Like, I think it's too extreme, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that like I get what you're saying. I would say that I think the kids at the skate park and like people at the park should be wearing masks if they're like playing sports where you're fucking right next to each other all the fucking time. I think that's kind of like that's a stupid thing to do.
Yeah,
but,
But this is coming from somebody. This is my opinion because I don't take it that seriously. So, and then on top of that, it bothers me because of the same reasons that I've mentioned before. Like, if it is that serious, why don't we just shut the whole fucking business down, period? Yeah. Like, if I have to wear a mask to walk up and order, we probably shouldn't be ordering any food to begin with, right? I mean, just logically speaking. If it's that serious, let's close the fucking whole country down again. And so I don't know. It's like shit or get off the pot. I don't know. That's what's bothering me is about this whole thing. It's like, sir, I'm going to need you to, I went to the casino the other day to do a bid for a job, and I have one of those masks that have a little ventilator things on them, right?
Oh, okay.
And as I walked up to get checked in, they have a real specific sign there. I almost took a picture of it too, but it basically says, it shows the list of masks that are unacceptable. And they specifically said any mask with a ventilator on it is unacceptable. And then they have a small little description of why a filter on a mask is not I guess appropriate, or it's not effective is what they were kind of selling. But they also showed 6 different pictures of different types of masks. One with my mask with the ventilator in many different forms. They have that face shield one, which for obvious reasons, that's not going to do anything, right? They had the bandana, unacceptable. They don't want the bandanas.
The bandanas and the face shields are fucking stupid. The face shield is even the most stupid because there's like this huge gap between your face and there's this huge section underneath. It's like, what do you think that's doing? Dude?
Yeah. But the one I have, I would argue, is pretty darn good compared to what's going. I mean, it wraps around pretty darn well to your face, and the filters on it, I can't really speak on the filters, but I imagine it's doing a better job than most of them. So they have all these pictures, right? And I was like, oh shit. And so I walked up to her and I was like, is this considered unacceptable then? She's like, yeah. It's like, we actually have masks here for you. And she pulls out a box and hands me one of those stupid fucking blue ones that is just a square. I'm like, really, people? I was like, you're going to deny these 6 ones and then you're going to give me this and assume that this is the most effective fucking mask? That thing does not wrap around your face at all. It's almost just as effective as a face shield.
But you have to get the like. It's so those ones are so annoying because none of them are like equal.
They
So
don't
like,
fit your face for
I
one,
was like,
so you're gonna have exhaustion coming around your face.
say
In and out.
I've bought some tight ones, but like we got them from Costco, and then we went and bought more from Costco, and they're not the same. But I got these ones that were actually kind of tight, but you also have to crink the nose, you know what I mean, so it stays to your nose, and then it's usually good. But it has to be the right size. Also, but I get what you're saying because most people don't have like my fucking jaw is pretty wide, so like I can kind of get away with those type of masks. But I feel like your average person, yeah, you're gonna have like space over here where it's ventilating, like you said. Also,
Yeah,
holy shit.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, Brandon King mod joined in. I haven't seen you in a minute. What's up, dude?
Oh yeah, what's up, dude?
He said, "I like masks. They keep people's bad breath out of my nose." I agree with you. That is true. I haven't smelled anyone's bad breath since the pandemic. That's really
You just smell your own bad breath now.
dude. I do the. Sometimes when you wear a mask, you like don't realize your breath smells, and you're like, "Oh Jesus!"
Right? You're like, "What's that smell?" Oh wait, I guess that's my own breath.
And then he also said, "I wear glasses, and those fog him up." See, I haven't even worn my mask since the pandemic, but I did hear that that happens to most people.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about the fucking rectangular masks. You know what I'm talking about? Those are not ideal. I don't give a fuck. You cannot convince me that that's a appropriately medical mask to.
I mean, those are actual surgical masks, though.
They might be for they're great for spatter, absolutely. You know,
Yeah.
but as far as entryway of airflow, it's not even a fucking conversation. Like that doesn't work. Period. Unless that thing fucking suction cups to your face, which they don't. I'm talking about the fucking rectangle one. We know, we all know which one I'm talking about. To sit there and say that all these ones with ventilators and the ones that actually cup your face are not effective, and then they hand me just a rectangle one. It's bullshit, dude. It's a fucking power trip. It's herd mentality, going with the flow, and fear being put into businesses. Like it's a bunch of shit, in my opinion. Like, if you're gonna make a statement like these are all unacceptable, then let's have a criteria. You should have a fucking really effective mask, or start handing out really effective masks. But it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any logical sense. Going back to logic again, we're gonna talk about air filtration.
Can you use the N95 mask? Those are supposed to be pretty
Nope,
good.
it was not on the. Nope.
What? That was on the nope list? Like it was like you can't. I thought those were supposed to be better than the surgical masks.
I don't know, and especially the N95 ones with the little filter on the front, they didn't want that.
That's strange because I think remember when the pandemic first started, and then they said start wearing masks, and they're like, okay, buy the mask, but don't buy the N95 mask because our medical professionals need them. That makes no sense for the casino to be like, nope, that's like ass backwards. So
it made no fucking sense to me. I wish I would have took a picture of that thing so I could we could have put it on here. Yeah, for some reason I was like, I don't know how they're gonna feel about me, because I was like a visitor in there. I get a visitor's badge and all this shit, come in the back way, and so I didn't want to like start taking pictures of all this shit. Like, sir, what are you doing? Like, you know, they just seemed like really strict on security and shit there. But it's annoying, dude. Like, and that's part of the reason why I'm like, when I get worried, like things are quote unquote spiking and cases are spiking and all this is happening and the fear is being put into us once again and it's amplifying. It's like, fuck, how long is this gonna go now because of this? Like, the longer we keep doing this, we're never gonna get back to normal. And this shit is just, it's a nuisance to me. It's a hassle. You know, now I've gotten better at remembering my mask, but man, there's a lot of times where I just forget the mask out in the truck and I have to walk back to get it. I'm like, this is a fucking irritation. So
I always just put mine on in the car and then walk through the parking lot. It's just more, I don't know, because then I don't forget it. Just like, all right, we're going to the store, get to the parking lot, put the mask on, then get out of the car and just walk into the store.
It's part of people's attire now, you know what I mean? It's like your keys, you know, or something. You gotta always remember the mask, or you gotta always remember to keep it on
keys
your neck.
mask.
Yeah, it's like, man, I don't know. It's annoying to me, and it's getting even more annoying because, like I said, I'm afraid that this is just gonna go on, and then and this just goes back to what I was talking about a couple episodes back. I'm like, if it is that fucking serious, let's close the fucking country down. Let's do it. Like, let's just put an end to this, right? If that's what's going to put an end to it, then, and it is that serious, why don't we do that? I know it sounds scary, and I know, but what's going on now is scary. So I don't
Yeah.
understand. There's no solution right now. There's no smart solution, in my opinion.
Hmm.
And so either there's a pandemic or there's not. And if there is, then you would treat it appropriately. And that means um, not go anywhere and not
Yeah.
do anything.
I wish people would have taken it more seriously at the beginning because, before it spread this widespread, because they probably could
What's
have.
your definition personally of taking it seriously?
Well, I think that at the beginning, when they first found out it was in the United States, we should have just when there's like, oh, there's 100 cases, like just shut down the country for like a week and then get it to zero. You know what I mean? And then just be like, all right,
Okay.
we're not gonna leave or have anyone else come in or out of the country. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we're gonna be fine now.
So it sounds like you're in agreement with me as far as
Yeah,
like make a move, make a strong move, and that's shut
yeah.
things down. If it's
Yeah, but I was saying that they should have done it early because now I think we're fucked. There's so many cases. Like, how are you going to stop it now at this point? Is my thought process. There's so many cases. There's millions of cases. It's like, what are you going to do?
I mean, shutting it down is going to do some good if it's seriously that, imperative. If it's spreading that bad, then I would say it would still do the job.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
They
still,
probably would. Yeah.
but getting people to do that is the hard part too. Um, I don't know. There's not enough seriousness behind this though. Like yeah, the cases have gone up, the deaths and all this, but they don't really. They're not. You say that, right? They'll say this. The news will say, yeah, the cases have gone up. The people are dying at a higher rate right now, and yet again, there's a spike in the economy as far as these cases are going. But yet, we haven't done anything to be in alignment with that. Like, okay, well, now we'll just limit the number of people. They're still trying to hold on to keeping things open and stuff like that. And like, trust me, as a person who runs a business, I'm all for running a business no matter what it takes. That's exactly what I did. And that's probably what I'll do as well if they did shut down the country. But I would probably take it a little more seriously, honestly, if everybody took it more seriously. I cannot take anybody seriously if no serious moves are being made.
Right.
It's a joke.
Yeah, definitely. Brandon King mod said, "I wear an NBC mask if needed." I think you're trolling me because I don't even know what that means. Do you know what an NBC mask is, or is this like some weird? We're gonna be like, "What's an NBC mask?" And he's gonna be like, I got him." So
Yeah. Sigonia's nuts.
Yeah. And then my grandpa said, "I disagree with Ben, but if you have a mask, better than nothing, in my opinion." I don't know if you're disagreeing with Ben. I think Ben's saying that mask is not an efficient mask because I think Ben also thinks that any mask is probably better than no mask. Like that
Yeah.
mask that is probably better than nothing at all.
Yeah.
But you're arguing that the mask you're wearing was better than that one. So
Oh, absolutely. And I'm also arguing that the fact that they just handed me a very inefficient mask is the answer is just fucking silly. Like it's just really, I don't know. It just goes to show that there's no seriousness behind it. This is just people going through the motions of it. Like there's no way that you can hand somebody a blue rectangle and say this is exactly what's going to stop the virus from happening. This is going to stop contraction. This is the best solution out there. Like that just seems
I feel
idiotic.
like the N95s are, and it's definitely better than wearing no mask. But I think the N95 mask would definitely be better. Then my grandpa said, "It's proven in Yakima we were spiking in June, July." Yeah, I remember that. They mandated businesses to make people wear them. Now we are best in the state. We are at like 90%, 80 to 90% wearing masks. I feel like we're pretty up there too, though, because Thurston County has not really been that bad. I think it's starting to go up now, but for like the whole entire pandemic, it's been like really good here. And then the comments I liked from him, he said, I think at the beginning the president hid it from us. I don't think he hid it, but he just downplayed it the whole time, and he already admitted he did that. And then this is the comment I like. He said, "They first told us masks were not good. Remember that? Remember when they were like, you don't need masks, are fucking, they don't do anything." And then they flip flopped and said, "Now you need masks." That was the most annoying thing ever, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to wear masks, and they're like, "Oh, it doesn't mean anything." I'm like, I don't know about that.
I would argue that everybody's downplaying it though at this point. Like the
Yeah.
only reason that Trump's getting a lot of flack for us because he's the president and he downplayed it. I think everybody is downplaying this. If it was serious, again, I don't know how else to put this. It's very clear. If it was serious, you would shut down the country until it is eradicated. Right? I mean, I think we can, I hope we can all agree on that part. That just makes logical sense. If something is killing our population and our people, you would do everything possible to stop that. And so, hence, what we're talking about is coronavirus. So you would shut down any human interaction as much as possible, especially businesses. And again, and this, as a business owner, it's devastating and that's scary. But if it's that serious, that's what needs to happen. There's just no way around it.
Mm.
So again, I think there's a huge emphasis on Trump downplaying it, but everybody's downplaying it, and so they're downplaying it. That's what I'm saying. There's an inconsistency with this. They're showing all these cases, they're showing a spike and all this shit, right? But nothing is in alignment with those spikes. They're not saying, okay, this is happening. Let's, you know what I mean? Like I said before, let's just reduce number of people. Let's reduce hours. Let's reduce employee capacity. Let's do these baby steps, and hopefully that's going to happen. Like if it was serious, you would make huge steps to ensure safety of the human population. So that is supposedly in jeopardy. So it's just inconsistency, man. That shit bothers me.
Yeah, I think it's more of an American problem than it is. I think Americans are inconsistent. I think the problem is that Americans are just so self-centered. It's like, we're not gonna fucking sit at home. Like, we are gonna go do what we want to do. You know what I mean? And even like
Definitely
even the president and businesses, they're like, fuck it, we're gonna stay open. You know what I mean? And that's why some countries dealt with it better than the United States dealt with it and had better statistics than we did with the virus.
Yeah.
Because Americans think we're too good for everything and fucking don't take things seriously enough.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm no different, honestly. I'm part of that group that didn't take it serious. So, and I still don't, because I haven't been, because of the inconsistency, though. Like if you're going to sit there and say this is a serious matter, but have a little bit of leeway in areas like that, then I'm not going to take it seriously.
Yeah.
So it doesn't help the inconsistency of people enforcing these rules. When they're inconsistent, it's going to really get inconsistent from the Americans, because they're already inconsistent. Like you said, they're all entitled and privileged and like, no, this is my right. And, but that's going to amplify if the people that are setting the rules are inconsistent.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's what's going on. Like,
I think you nailed it right there. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
At least in America. So.
Yeah. And I would be interested to know if there has been any country or who's done the best as far as really shutting down. I wonder what country's done the best at that.
I know that early on that South Korea did really good, but they had everywhere masks. They did like mass testing and like tracing where it came from and where it was going, and like stopping people from spreading it. But I don't know what it's like now. That was like, that was March, April, May. So I don't know how they've done since then. My grandpa said the Netherlands have done good, apparently.
Nice.
So
the Netherlands, where is that?
It's like I think it's across, like, how like England is like its a little island, and then across from there is like Europe, the rest of Europe.
Oh yeah.
I think it's like one of those first countries.
Oh, okay.
It's like right on the coast, I think, or it's like one country over from the coast. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't know the geography over there well enough.
I know, I don't either when it comes to what continent is that? Asia, I guess.
Europe.
Oh, Europe. But they're connected, right?
Yeah, Europe and Asia are connected.
I don't know why. I always just think of it as one big continent.
Yeah.
Because it's just a piece of connected land.
Yeah.
But
Technically it should be. Some people call it Eurasia. Like
nice. Yeah, I had a little history lesson from one of these homeowners that I was kind of chatting with. She went on a huge spiel about Czechoslovakia and Slovakia and how they split up, and they're basically right by each other, but they're different in different nations or whatever. So it's kind of interesting to hear that.
Right. Yeah, I think they well, they used to be one country.
Yeah.
Czech and Slovakia used to be the Czech Republic or whatever. Or wait, Czechoslovakia. It's funny.
But they speak different languages, and they're right next to each other too.
Do they know?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. I was like, that is so weird being that close.
There's a lot of countries like Germans, you know, and fucking then you have France and Portugal are like right next to each other, and Spain. They're all right next to each other. They all speak different languages.
Yeah.
And you have French, Portuguese, and Spanish all right next to each other.
It's fascinating, man. Like, I'm always fascinated with how small we are when it comes to different cultures and just land in general. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much area that's untapped and that I have never been to, that I'll never never visit. It's like, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So small.
small, but yet so big.
Yeah. No, I mean, my life is small when I think about it.
Oh, right.
As far as wherever I've been, I'm like, damn, I haven't seen shit. I haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah, I've only been on the West Coast.
Yeah, me too. Well, I mean, I've been to like Vegas. I think that's as far as I've ever been.
Yeah, I've been like the West Coast and like, well, here for you guys, West Coast and one state over from the West Coast. So that's about it.
Yep. But I guess the other things, I guess the good thing that's coming out of this is, I've talked about this before, is that like this is a huge moment in time, and I've talked about this before, where people are either going to emerge differently as a better person, or they're going to really just contract and either end up in a worse position they are, or they're just going to be at a stalemate and have not progressed in anything. They're just kind of riding this time out. It's a real good test as far as what kind of person you're going to end up coming out of and how you're going to handle this, because this is just a example of how shit can get real really quick globally. So yeah, and then businesses are shutting down like all the time. I'm hearing this still. A lot of these big businesses are just closing. And it's like, wow, it's just not stopping. It's going to get worse.
Yeah, it's definitely going to get worse. But I think it'll be all right in the end. Just going to be, you know.
Just when?
I know exactly when.
That's the whole question. That's what's bothering me, is like it's all up in the air. Like when? If I knew even a timeline, like, okay, this is going to be another 3 months, or this is going to be another 3 years, it would help me plan accordingly a little bit. Although I'm planning for the worst anyway, it would still kind of give me a little peace of mind.
Right.
It's the uncertainty nobody likes, though.
Yeah, I have no idea. The projections are always off. I'm hoping by next spring or summer that it's like gone, you know. But that's just because I know I want to actually enjoy those seasons.
I know, right? Yeah, this summer was shot, dude. The summer of love was definitely the worst this year. And it's been like that the last 2 years for me too. Like last summer was shot because of I was having manufacturer problems during that time, and so
yeah, there
was like 3 months where I wasn't even working that much. It was devastating, and so that was pre-COVID too. So it's like, man, 2 years in a row now, my summer's been shot.
I think my grandma was saying too, the vaccinations will come, so I think that's cool. I think that if you don't want to take a vaccination, that's fine. But I think that they'll probably be able to open up the country back again. So they'll be like, oh, if you're worried about getting the virus, then take the vaccination, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the flu. It's like they don't force a flu shot on everyone, but they're like, you should get the flu shot. Otherwise, you might get really sick.
Yeah, I'm definitely not taking a vaccine, man. I just not comfortable with it. So
yeah.
But yeah, cool. We'll see how this unfolds. But yeah, it's definitely it's on the news quite a bit. That's all I'm hearing is, you know, increase in cases, increase in this, increase in that. But yeah, so it's that fear being put into us again. It's just like amplifying over and over again. But so, all right, well, moving on to the next topic. I guess we'll review. There's a couple of things we can review here. I'll review the two places I went today, which is basically. Have you ever been to that vegan restaurant in Tacoma called Viva?
Mm-mm.
No, you haven't? I've been there like 3 times. Today was the first time I've been there in like a year now. But man, I forget how good that food is. It's like gourmet vegan type dishes, man. And so everything's really super plant-based, super whole food based. There's like little to no processed ingredients. And so super good stuff, man. Their desserts are off the hook, like muffins and cheesecake and pies and all this shit. And so it's really like a vegan's food dream in there. But yeah, Malia had. It's funny because I should have just picked Malia's dish for her. I knew she was gonna go for the mac and cheese. She went for the mac and cheese. And she actually didn't like it too much because it's made good. It's made, from like cashew cheese. It had like nutritional yeast in it and all kinds of shit. Like I thought it was really good, but it was
too gourmet.
It's too gourmet for her. Yeah, it was not what she's used to. Like Wayside's mac and cheese, where it's like that type of processed cheese, which is definitely better for you than cheese, cultured milk cheese. But ultimately, it's still not very healthy for you to.
Right, yeah, I try not to eat the mac and cheese there too often because you can feel when you eat it. You're like, oh man, there's a lot of fat in there. That's definitely weighing me down. But it's delicious though.
It is good, yeah, and it is better for you than milk products. So, yeah. But I had what I have eggplant lasagna. That shit was so good, man. It was just
eggplant lasagna, huh?
Yeah, with like portobello mushroom, like giant portobello mushroom pieces like that on there. Mm-hmm. Super good, man. They had some garlic, call it garlic cheese bread, but I didn't see any cheese on it. So
weird.
Yeah.
Garlic cheese bread with no cheese.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was infused in the bread or something.
Yeah.
Super good though. So, but yeah, really good restaurant, man. You should try it out. I would say it's one of my favorite. Maybe the favorite vegan joint for me, as far as just the gourmet aspect of it. It's just like all these globally influenced dishes. It's like, oh wow, you don't see it very often. So they're expensive though.
Yeah. How expensive was it?
So for a little, it was like $75, but then I tipped the lady $10, so it's like $85 meal.
Okay. My favorite place I've been to is Harvest Beat. That's that five course dinner I had in Seattle.
Yeah, I remember saying that.
Yeah, that was like $200. That was really gourmet. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah, I want to check that out.
They had everything locally sourced and yada yada, and they took us in the kitchen and gave us like a little tour, and that's pretty cool. It was like a dinner service, where you like actually you had to show up at a certain time with reservations, and
yeah,
everything was prepared ahead of time.
Very nice. Yeah, I want to check that out. I like that gourmet stuff. I like seeing dishes you haven't seen. You know what I mean? It's presented in a well fashion.
Yeah,
like, oh.
definitely there too. I'm sure it was at Viva too, but like the way that they made it wasn't just like slopped on there. You know what I mean? There was a presentation to it.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
There's something to be said about the presentation, man. That's why even the simplest dishes I make, I don't know why. I like it to look good too before I eat it. It might seem silly to some people, but I don't know. Presentation is huge.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, I mean it's like a form of art, right? My grandpa said he took Mark and his wife to Sea Galley. I don't know where that is, but $186 for 3 people, huh? Must have been pretty good.
Sea Galley. I have not heard of that in a long time.
Is that it's like a seafood place or what?
That reminds me of like Sizzlers or Skippers. Remember those restaurants?
Yeah.
Skippers was
Skippers,
good.
man.
Skippers was good, man. I used to go there for the clam chowder and like dip a bunch of shrimp in there and shit. Obviously,
I miss clam chowder, man.
oh, if you miss clam chowder, dude, go to Parkside Cafe. They got a great version of it, and it's there all the time.
Oh, they got vegan chowder?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
mushroom chowder.
Okay.
It's good, man. They got huge chunks of like potato in there and mushrooms and shit. It's just creamy. Oh man,
Yeah. I've been thinking about that, and then the other thing I've been wanting is fucking like tuna helper. I want like a tuna replacement, you know?
Yeah.
I love tuna.
When have I had? Oh, the only time I've had that was when Wayside did a tuna melt. Did you ever try that?
Did it taste like tuna?
It
or
was
what?
good. It tasted like tuna and it was fucking good,
Oh.
man. I was like, whoa. Yeah, it threw me for a loop. It's got
That
that,
sounds amazing.
had that little fishy smell to it. I don't know how they do
Yeah.
that.
Damn it, that sounds awesome though.
It was good. Yeah, I haven't seen it on the menu in a while now. They're doing the
Mhm.
vegan nachos this weekend, so might have to go hit that up.
Oh, I love nachos.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, but yeah, Viva Tacoma, excellent restaurant as well. And then real quick here, that dinosaur little thing. So basically in Puyallup, they got this dinosaur theme drive-through where it's kind of set up like, I don't know, it's like a amateur Universal Studios Jurassic Park type thing where you just drive around and stare at dinosaurs that are set up, and they have audio that you play on your phone while you're doing this. So the guy is, describing the animals, what they ate, what they weigh, what period of time they were, when they lived. And so it's kind of cool. It was definitely kind of cheesy. There were some things that were like weird, like, I don't know. You could tell it was quickly put up to, like, some dinosaurs were like knocked over, and the Spinosaurus's mouth was all jacked up, like the top of his mouth was bent back or something, and is like he had an underbite, and it looked off. I was like, man, no one really noticed that, or just went with it.
No one fixed that shit.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of cheesy a little bit, but it's cool. Like, it wasn't for me. Obviously, it was for my daughter. That's what's interesting about kids is my daughter, at least for right now, is easily amused by the simplest things. Like, I'm very grateful for this, but she still gets amusement out of just like simplistic things. Where sometimes I've seen like some kids are just like, I'm bored. You know what I mean? Like, where's the screen in my face? Like they just, you know what I mean? Like it seems like that moment comes a lot quicker nowadays for kids. It's like the shit like that, the simplest things are just not enjoyable for them anymore.
Right. Did she enjoy it?
Yeah. Yeah, she enjoyed it.
Awesome.
And she likes to role play, you know what I mean? That's how I know she enjoys it. She's always role playing and getting in character. She always get me on board with it too. She's like, Professor, what's this dinosaur coming up?
That's funny.
I'll put on an accent, and start talking. It's pretty funny, dude. So
That sounds fun.
It is fun to do that with your kids, man. Just enjoy the time. I mean, it's just spending time with them. It's not necessarily the kids that are always saying they're bored or looking to be stimulated constantly. You know what I mean? Like, instead of actually enjoying the moment and the time we have, like, they have no concept of time. And so they just want the stimulation is more important than the time. And so that can go down different paths of conversation too. And like, that's why I also had the death conversation with Malia, is because I wanted to emphasize time with people that you love. You know what I mean? Like, that's important because time is limited, time is borrowed. It can be taken from you anytime. And so, yeah, that kind of ties in with that as well. So I think it's important to enjoy those moments, man. I get irritated when kids are just like that. They're like, yeah, this is boring. It's like, well, we could put you to work or something. If you're that bored.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, really cool experience, just something to do, something different, you know what I mean? We didn't have her birthday celebration was on a weekday, so we didn't do much. I just had some food for her, made some presents, and that was it, man. It was like 8:30 when we were done with all that. So had a cake and cupcakes for her. So it's pretty cool, but short lived, real simple, which is nice. But I think it would have been cool to have some friends of hers and did something nice and still something sweet and simple. But I don't know. Like I feel like that's part of this COVID-19 thing that's also devastating us. You know what I mean? Like everybody's scared to do anything. Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas is going to be really fucking weird this year.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Hopefully next year though, man. Hopefully, like me and you, like this year's fucked already. So
yeah. I mean, I don't even know. Like usually on Thanksgiving, I'll go visit people or something, go hang out. But now I don't even want to even bother asking to see if like anybody's doing anything. It just seems like out of character now.
Yeah.
To, I don't know. I don't want to be shunned either, It's like, don't you know there's a pandemic, dude? Like, of course we're not doing anything, you fucking idiot. It's like, I don't think that, but okay. Now that I understand, I understand there's a lot of fear put into people. So, and a lot of people are way more fearful about this situation than I am. And so I'm just kind of acclimating to it, doing my thing. Probably just going to have a simple Thanksgiving dinner here. I have no idea what I'm doing for Halloween. As of now, we're just going to eat some candy and watch some scary movies, but there's no real plans to do anything else.
Dress up. You guys gonna dress up?
No. I have no intentions to dress up. I don't know. I could always do that, but it just seems like a lot of effort to just keep in the house, dress up.
Yeah.
I could, but
yeah.
I don't know. I might do that. I might pull out a mask or something and have some fun, but there's gonna be a lot of less effort into it. I don't know why, because it's just the way it is, man. So we'll see how all that goes. But
yeah, let me go to the comments real quick. What was Grandpa saying? He said, "I remember those times with sons and grandkids when they're young." I think he's just talking about like enjoying moments together.
Yeah.
And then he said they are saying we should forego Halloween and Thanksgiving, but he said that with like a question mark. So I don't know what they're saying. If they had any official statements on Halloween and Thanksgiving, I haven't heard anything.
No. The way the media is going, though, I can assume that it's not going to be normal. It's going to be a lockdown type situation.
Right.
Cases are spiking right now, and it's mid-October.
Halloween's only 2 weeks away from today, so
yeah, and then Thanksgiving's just like a month away. So I can see, everybody's just probably going to end up doing their own thing in home. If you are going to have some kind of get together, it's all going to be just close family type setup,
mm-hmm.
Which is cool. That'd be cool. But even that is like the same reason that, I don't reach out to family to see if they're doing anything. It's the same reason. There's a lot of other people probably in my position that aren't even bothering trying to get people together.
Right.
Just fear, man. It's just that fear. Okay.
What do we got? Viral viewpoint?
Yeah, we got the viral viewpoint. I will say, I got another review though really quick. Did you ever see that video with the mountain lion chasing that dude?
No, that sounds terrifying though.
Dude, it is terrifying when you see it. It's like he's like backing up and filming this mountain lion the whole time. Like what seemed like quarter mile to half a mile long down this hill. And the way the mountain lion was just like doing this little like aggressive thing. It was like hitting the ground and running at him and then just kind of walking. It was just pacing at him. And then it'll sometimes do that. And then just keep pacing him. And he's just walking backward the whole time.
He's just walking backwards?
Yeah. And he's like yelling at it, like, like trying to look bigger than he is, and he's like, get out of here.
Yeah.
It's just doing the same thing over and over. And finally, at the end of the video, he throws a rock at it, and it hits it, and then the thing turns around and runs away. I was thinking the whole time, I was like, I would fucking throw a rock at it to begin with. It seems like that would scare an animal like that, because it's, they weren't expecting it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, this creature, this other animal's projectiling something at me.
Right.
that's out of my league, man. I gotta get close contact to do damage.
For real. Actually, how many animals actually throw things?
Exactly. That's a definitely scare tactic.
It's a primate thing. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not any animals that projectile anything, so they get hit by something like, whoa, what's going on here? It's just a shock. If it hurts, it's much more of a shock.
Yeah. My grandpa was saying that Dr. Fauci recommended that people forego, and also the CDC. I mean, that's to be expected, so I guess cool. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, not cool, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed that's what they're going to say about all 3 holidays going into the next year and New Year's.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
all this till the end of the year is definitely botched, in my opinion, because of the way things are going.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that video is terrifying, dude. It just makes me wonder. I'm like, I don't know. Like, it made me wonder, like, whoever had a gun, like if someone had a gun on them, they probably would have just shot the thing. But that's pretty sad, man. Like, I don't know if shooting it is excessive. I think, in my opinion, it's excessive. So, I don't know what I guess the alternative is throwing a rocket at it, because that worked just great. So,
yeah.
I
don't know if that'll work great every time, though, huh?
I know. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you can have a fucking tranquilizer or something on you.
Yeah, that could work. Maybe. Have the gun as backup. Maybe try throwing a rock first.
Yeah, that's a great point, actually, because the trigger happy people that have seen that video are like, I would have shot it, and that's a great point. Is for someone that's not really out for blood and termination, a great solution is to throw a rock first and see if that's going to scare something. You know what I mean? I
think in those situations it's easy as us as spectators to kind of say that. I don't know, man. When you're sitting there in fucking fear mode, and you have a gun, I think it's gonna be hard to be like, maybe I should throw a rock at it. You'd be so scared. You're like, fuck you. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
I get scared of spiders, man. I see a fucking mountain lion, dude.
That's funny.
They're like, nope.
You're like, it's a fucking daddy long legs.
Daddy long legs. Holy shit.
I don't like spiders either, but it's a size thing. Like, if they're small, I'm perfectly okay with like getting a piece of paper and taking it outside. Or if it's small and they're hanging out in my room, like, I'm okay with just letting them hang out. But it's a size thing. If they get big, and also it's a speed thing. They're big and they're quick. Like, hell no, you guys.
Dude, those things are scary when they're big and quick.
Yeah, you're not hanging out in here, and I'm not even. I don't have the courage to pick you up gently and take you outside. So you just fucking came in the wrong house, dude.
Yeah, dude, for real.
That's like a burglar, man. I'm treating you like a burglar, dude.
I know, man. I feel bad, but I'm also like, you shouldn't have come in here, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you. I mean, if there was a way to give them an option, like, I'll give you 10 seconds to go out the way you came in.
Only we could do a Dr. Dolittle thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's move on. Viral Viewpoint is kind of, I really didn't have anything to think about right here, so I thought I'd revisit something that's always relevant in my life, and kind of, I don't know, always comes into my life in different forms, but it's ego again. And so ego is a really good conversation to have, in my opinion, because more importantly, what I wanted to talk about with it is that my opinion of ego is definitely one of the biggest restrictions or limiters for mental growth. And so it bothers me as someone, and I notice it quite a bit. It bothers me because I'm someone who's always trying to like maximize my mind and learn and try to be better as a person and try to do all these things for myself and other people. So when I notice that, it's an irritation because it really is my firm belief that, like, to the degree you have an ego is, what determines how much and how fast you can actually learn something. And it just comes in a lot of different forms too. I've noticed, it's not always just aggressive ego. It can be passive ego. But I notice it quite a bit. So, but yeah, I don't know how would you say, ego comes into your life? Do you even notice it? Is that something that's noticeable for you, or
like my own ego or other people's ego?
Other people's ego. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, not too much right now. Just because of the pandemic. Like, I don't really interact with that many people, so like I don't really have any interactions where ego would come into play because I just kind of stick to myself mostly. It's just me and Heather hanging out and doing our own thing, and neither of us are very egotistical. We're just kind of like, whatever. We're just chilling. I mean, in the past, yeah. I mean, my biggest thing is like the masculinity. I fucking hate that kind of ego. It's just obnoxious, really. It's in your fucking face.
Like projecting masculinity.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
That is an ego.
Yeah. But I don't really deal with, I just don't deal with people's egos very much. I mean, I deal with people's egos in video games, but I just ignore them because, like, they're idiots, so. That's a totally different thing, so.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that's fair to say, too, because they're definitely idiots, but they're just not ready to learn anything else. It's the more important thing.
Yeah, I think I don't know. The internet's weird though, so you can't really, I try not to take people too seriously on the internet because, well, actually, I don't know, maybe you should take them more seriously. I feel like people on the internet aren't afraid to show their true colors, so people will just be fucking dickheads and egotistical assholes and just say the meanest things, and that's how they really think and how they really are. But, they wouldn't act like that in real life, which is weird, but.
Yeah. You think people on internet, you think what they say and how they are on social media is true to form of their actual character?
No, I was talking more like on video games where they have, anonymity, where they're anonymous.
Oh, yeah.
On social media, not so much. People are probably being more fake on social media half the time.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. Some people are more fake, some people are more real, but you're representing yourself on social media, so I don't know how much that's true to form of who they really are. I don't know. Social media is fucking weird. So
yeah, social media is hard to read.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think the same thing you do. I think that it's more of a social media is exactly, a lot of platforms were created just because it's there to present what you want people to see you as. What, you're like, it's the best playground and best area to create a character. So I think, as far as truth and exposing your true self is probably diminished when you're on social media.
It feels like if people do show their true self, they don't get as much recognition, or they get like shunned, right? Usually on social media. So there's an incentive to show your best self. Yeah. As well. It's kind of gamed. That's the system.
Yeah, and that's sad in that regard.
Mhm.
That's actually really sad. You should actually praise people for being their true self, even if it's. And that being said, you shouldn't shut off people. Also, if you're not in agreement with their viewpoints, I think. I mean, obviously, if you just don't like the person, that's something different. But when it comes to viewpoints, I think it's important to. I'm always interested in like understanding somebody, and if it's something that to me seems like it just makes logical sense to do this, it's a humane way, it's the right way, it's whatever type of reason, you know what I mean? I always just default to, okay, this person's this way because they're just misinformed. They're just complete. I treat it the way I treat, like my plant-based lifestyle. I don't. When I hear people that, let's just say if I had a conversation with like a hardcore, meat eater, there's this dude that lives out in the woods, let's say, and that's all he hunts, year round. He kills and like he's all about that meat. I don't immediately turn him off and be like, this guy's a fucking idiot. I can't stand him, and start name calling and like, all this. I can't listen to him. I can't, what I mean? It's not a turn off for me. It's not. It actually fascinates me a little bit more. But yeah, the things that help me not turn a person off is the fact that I just default to being like, oh, this person's just highly misinformed. Like it's not even their fault, really. This is all conditioning.
That's a good thought process. I definitely do that with the plant-based thing as well, just because I don't know. There's so many people that aren't plant-based. It's like if you're going to sit there and shut everyone that's not plant-based, you're going to be basically shutting everyone, right? Not everyone, but a significant portion of the population.
Yeah, but I would argue a lot of the people that are on the opposite end, using the plant-based as an example, they probably don't do that for. A lot of them probably don't do that for plant-based eaters. You know what I mean? They probably aren't like, oh, well, he's highly misinformed. Like. It's my suspicion anyway, because it's more of a conditioning majority type thing to where the majority of people are doing it. So it just seems right to them, I
don't know. I feel like over the years, I have better reception when I tell people I'm vegan than when I was first going vegan. I don't know if you have the same thing, but I feel like when I first went vegan, people are like, what the fuck's that? That's not that best idea or whatever, like, what about bacon? What about good fat? I'm like, what do you mean good fat? What are you talking about? Or no, it wasn't good fat. It was good cholesterol. What about good cholesterol? I'm like, what are you smoking?
Good cholesterol.
Yeah.
Yeah. That just screams highly misinformed to me when you say good cholesterol.
But I don't really get shit like that anymore. Usually when I tell people I'm vegan, they're like, oh, I'm not. They're like, I probably should. It's probably the healthier thing to do, but I just haven't really looked into it now. That's usually like what I hear people say to me nowadays.
Is what
I just said. They're usually like, oh, I should probably do that. That's probably the healthier option, but I haven't looked into it enough yet, or whatever. Yada yada yada.
Or why? Yeah.
They're not like being like, oh my. I don't get a lot of like, oh, that you're wrong and my diet's better. I usually get a lot of like, oh, your diet is probably actually the right one, but I just haven't done it yet. That's what I get a lot nowadays.
Yeah, I do get that response a lot more too. But the reason why I was bringing that up and using the plant-based examples, because I also do that with ego. When I hear someone who's, just projecting a lot of ego and that's the way they live their life, I immediately treat that the same way. I'm like, oh, this person's just highly misinformed and they're just, conditioned, and they're just not open. They either haven't been introduced to new ideas yet, or they're not open-minded for it to receive any new information. So, although it's very frustrating for me, I don't immediately just shut myself off to differences. And so I don't know. It's an interesting, and I guess the reason why I'm like that is because I hope that people don't do that to me. If they don't agree with something, just shutting me off is not there's no growth in that. There's just not. And again, not liking somebody is completely different. If you don't like somebody, then you have no interest in trying to understand them, obviously, which is a different topic altogether. But yeah, I really try to, what is that? Empathy? I really try to be empathetic. That's where you try and put yourself in someone else's shoes, right? I believe so.
Yeah. Trying to actually understand their feelings, or actually feel their feelings from a third point of view, I guess.
Yeah. So I try to really be empathetic when it comes to differences and beliefs and things like that. You know?
Yeah. See from their point of view. Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Sorry, my brain, like, you know when you like start feeling kind of sick and you get like that kind of like spacey kind of thing where you like you can't focus very well.
Yeah, you're just like.
Sorry for my uninteresting responses. I'm just kind of like right now.
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to bore you.
No, it's a good conversation. My brain's just like. So.
I mean, to be fair, like I'm kind of there right now too. The last couple of days I've been like that. I don't know what the hell it is, but kind of been in La La Land too. So I'm actually surprised I'm able to string together a sentence right now. Anyway.
I know. I'm just thinking like after this, I'm gonna lay down and have.
You're already thinking ahead, yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking ahead there for a little bit too. I'm like, I wonder if Malia's gonna be still asleep when I'm done with this.
Well, cool. Yeah. I mean, like my grandpa was just saying, I think everyone has an ego to some degree. Yeah, that's very true. I think as long as you keep your ego in check, just don't be egotistical.
That's the difference. That's the difference. Yeah, I agree with you, Jim, as far as everybody having somewhat of an ego, but being able to check yourself and give yourself a reality check when that comes up is what is kind of the game changer, I think. Because, there's a small sense of ego for me too, but I also am not egotistical to the point where I'm like, this is what it is and you can't tell me anything different. Unless the only way I'm like that is when I'm actually pitching or selling, because I'm not trying to be sold an idea that's different than mine. And so it's a different context in that regard, but that's not really, I guess there is ego involved in that, but the ego is through a lot of experience. And so that's a dangerous road though, too, because a lot of experience will build a person's ego. And just because they got a lot of experience under their belt, they're less likely to be, to receive new information.
Yeah.
And so that's something I'm pretty conscious of, actually. The fact that if I'm really experienced at something, I don't want to be set in my ways as far as like, okay, this is the only way because I've done it this way for X amount of years.
Isn't that the most annoying thing ever when you like someone's misinformed about something and you try to tell them and then they're like, well, I've been doing it this way for 20 years.
Yes.
Like, oh my God.
Yes. Yes. Super annoying.
You're like, fuck, bro.
We were just talking about that. I don't know if we actually brought that up on a topic or not, but about how someone's like, I've, done this, 1,000 times. I've done this. I mean, that doesn't mean it was done right also. You know what I mean? Like, you could be fucking just getting by all those years or all the 1,000 times you've done it. So just being realistic with yourself is huge for anybody who's got experience. Because that's an easy rabbit hole to go down with experience. You know what I mean? You can really go down and solidify that your way is the only way or the most effective way.
I remember a few weeks ago I was at the skate park and this dude had like a new skateboard and he was trying to do a pop shove it and he had his foot like perpendicular to the board and he was trying to do it and he kept like almost having it but like not really getting it properly. And I went to him and I was like, oh hey man, I was like, are you having problems with it? Are you trying to do a shove it? And he's like, yeah, I just have a new board. I was like, well, if you try putting your foot at a slight angle when you do it, it won't fall out from under your foot. He's like, oh, okay. He did it one time, right? Landed. I was like, all right, man, cool, sweet. And then he just went immediately back to his like egotistical way of doing it the way that he thought he should do it, even though it's the wrong way. And I watched him, he stopped landing it too after that, or like he would land it randomly, but it wasn't like reliable.
Yeah.
Or like the way I do a shove it, I land it like 95% of the time, you know? So, but.
Yeah, that's a good example. And so that's also a good example of like, there's a couple good examples in that actually, in that scenario. One with, you know, the angle you were just talking about, as far as like him not being so receptive to doing it someone else's way because he wanted to do it his comfortable way or whatever reasons why he didn't want to deviate from his way. There's that angle, and then there's the angle, your angle. Like, you have a real specific way that works for you and has worked for you and seems like at a higher percentage to be effective. And so that's what I was talking about. That can easily get you going down that rabbit hole of like you knowing that that's the way that it works and that's the way is the most effective. If people get stuck in that too much, they don't necessarily they're not open-minded to other possibilities. Mm-hmm. And so there's like a couple different angles with that example.
Yeah. It's funny because after he stopped landing it, I didn't even try to like keep helping him with it. I was like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, because that goes back to what we were talking about. If you're trying to help somebody with something, you got to kind of, I mean, that was just, it sounds like solicited or unsolicited advice.
I was saying, I was about to literally just say, I was like, it was unsolicited. I was just trying to help him out. You know what I mean? But like, if he wasn't willing to receive the advice, I wasn't going to waste any more time on it.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we were talking about one time when we were talking about helping somebody. Like, if you commit to helping somebody, like, you got to commit to kind of listening to what I'm saying and taking my advice. And so it's a turnoff when people don't want to do that.
It's just so funny that he landed it immediately after he took my advice and then immediately stopped taking my advice and stopped landing. And I was just like, why? How did you not make that connection in your head that was working for you, dude? Like, so funny.
That's weird. Yeah. I think, there's all kinds of reasons, man. The brain is weird like that. You know, he probably justified a lot of things in his head as far as like, well,
people just don't like change. So he's probably like, I don't like doing it that way. I'm just going to do it the way I do it and try landing it and getting it to work or whatever. That's my assumption.
Absolutely. It's uncomfortable. Anything that's uncomfortable the brain doesn't like it, you know?
Yeah.
It wants to go back to that predictable thing that, you know, it's prediction, man. Like I've said that before, our brains crave predictability, but unfortunately there's not a lot of growth in that. It's necessary to have predictability too. I think, in certain, on average and in general, like if you can get a system down that is predictable, it makes sense to do that, right? In business and some sports and things like that. But you also have to understand that you're going to have to go into that uncomfortable space to grow, in order to kind of solidify the new thing that you're going to grow into being predictable, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I feel like that you saying that kind of reminds me that I'm kind of afraid to get back into skating again, because I fucking rolled my ankle like 3 weeks ago now, and it's still not 100% healed.
Oh, really?
So ridiculous. Yeah, it was like bruised across the whole side of my foot. I don't remember to show you that.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, it was fucking hardcore. And it's still like a little, like if I stretch it in that direction, it can be a little tender sometimes. I'm like, fuck, man. And you just reminded me because I was pushing myself to do new tricks, and I was doing like a backside 180, which you probably don't know what that really means, but there's two different ways to do a 180. You know, you turn it clockwise or counterclockwise, right? I was doing it the way that's unnatural for me and learning it, and I was getting it down, and I was just kind of pushing myself in my uncomfortable zone for a long time that day, and I fucking like just landed wrong one time and just fucking rolled my ankle. And it's probably just like a one-off random thing, but it's been 3 weeks now. I'm like, fuck. So I want to go back into that and try doing that trick again, because like if I roll my ankle again, I'm gonna be like, all right, we're done here.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something you really want to master and do, I would encourage you to do it. There's definitely I don't got to tell you, but like there's a huge sense of accomplishment when you do those hard things and then you actually start getting it down. It's like, hell yeah, you know, I got over the curve, you know. and now that newly uncomfortable feeling is starting to feel a little more comfortable now.
Yeah. I
That's a
think
good
it was
feeling.
kind of, I think it was just kind of like a freak happening, honestly, because I was skating for like over 2 months,
Yeah.
3 months, and never rolled my ankle once or even got close to rolling my ankle. So I think I just landed perfectly wrong that time.
Yeah, it reminds me of when we're talking about like physical things, like right now. So we've been like, our band has kind of been at a standstill a little bit. Like we've been working on the same songs for a while. And I've had two full songs on the back burner, and then our new guitarist has had like two full songs on the back burner, which felt like we're never going to get to it.
Hmm.
And so now I have taught one of my newer songs to the guitarist. We've got that down, and now I finally have stepped up to the plate. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start learning your song now. And like, it just reminded me how tough it is I haven't learned anybody's material in over 2 years, probably longer.
Wow.
And so it's definitely big time uncomfortable for me. On top of that, it's not even that, it's a combination of things. So we got the aspect of me not learning anybody's material, or learning a song in general. And then now we've got the aspect of every riff, every single riff in his song is uncomfortable. It's got every technique that I haven't really done, that I'm having to utilize and try to learn. And so it's just like a lot of uncomfort all at once. And so, but even more so, the little bit that I've been grinding on it, it's slowly becoming more comfortable. And I've only been working on it for a couple weeks now. So,
Right.
but that's kind of a good example of how, like, when it comes to physical and comfort for me, that's what's real relevant in my life right now, is trying to learn someone else's new song. Because you know me, like, my fret hand isn't my strong suit, it's my rhythm hand.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so this song is all fret hand.
So it's like shit that I would write. That would
It's
just
like shit you would write.
throw you through a loop.
It's throwing for a loop. It's and although I have pushed myself in my own songs to kind of have more fret hand patterned riffs, it's a little more with this. It's just a lot of techniques, like natural harmonics. Never have I been good at doing natural harmonics. If I sit there and just hit a natural harmonics, much easier, but trying to throw it in the middle of a riff,
in the context of a riff,
fucking really hard, man, for me.
Yeah.
And so it's something that I'm just grinding at. Just like this one riff that has natural harmonics in it has been really tough. It's been the hardest part of it.
Oh, really? The natural,
Yeah.
is it really fast, like a little quick harmonic in there? Or
It's
something?
quick harmonics, and then the whole thing that's uncomfortable for me is the delicacy of it. You know, I'm kind of a hard player, and you know, like, I don't know.
That shit's hard. That shit's hard to unlearn. Playing like with so much. You play like very with like a lot of strain in your left hand, honestly. Like, and most people do. I'm like one of those weird people that plays very loose on my left hand, but
Yeah.
I kind of learned that way, and I'm also left-handed, so that's probably two reasons why. But I always learn to play like as light as possible on my left hand when I can. So,
And I'm learning that too. Like there's another riff in there that's like it's like a Black Dahlia Murder type riff, where it's sort of notey and a lot of it's this type of riffs where you're like using your finger instead of just planting your finger, you're doing taps, like, you know, hitting it as you're, and then moving the position. And so very uncomfortable for me because I'm more of a rough player, but I have figured out ways to actually make it comfortable for me and be lighter on the fingers now. Yeah. And it's almost necessary to play those riffs, actually.
Yeah, because otherwise you're just kind of working against yourself if you're kind of playing them with the wrong kind of technique on your left hand with those fast riffs. If you have too much tension, like if you think about it, if your like hand is tense and then you try moving your fingers, they don't want to move very much. But then you relax your hand and move your fingers, and they just do this shit. So yeah, it's really like any tension you can remove will make most of your riffs easier for you.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been my
that's also interesting though too, as that when you learn someone, every new guitarist that you play with, you have to learn a different style because everyone has a different style that they play in. So
Yep. Yeah, and I forgot all about that. It's been a while for me since I've done that. So,
I haven't even heard Sean's riffs. I wonder what they're like.
and most guitarists are a lot better than me, especially on the fret hand. And so I think it's a little bit, I don't know, I think it's easier to learn, even though the couple guitarists we have had in the band have said like, oh my God, like my rhythm hand has gotten a lot better working in this band because that's rhythm bass. Is like, there's a lot of rhythm based riffs that have pushed them. It's the same concept now for me, learning the fret hand shit.
Yeah, you're doing more melodic shit with your left hand instead of rhythmic. It's kind of funny though. Yeah, that is true. Like, as much as you give yourself shit, your rhythm hand is real strong, dude. Like you make up some hard rhythms. So
yeah, I didn't really realize that until like Jonah and Sean both told me that. They're like, like I've learned a lot from your rhythm riffs. Like,
yeah,
so.
Well, not only you have fast rhythms you do a lot of gallops that are like a lot of syncopation, so a lot of like the accents are on offbeats and stuff. It's not like 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's like or like a 16th note accents and shit. And then you also play in weird time signatures sometimes. Sometimes you'll write a riff, it's like in some obscure time signature, like it's like in 13/8 or something.
Yeah.
Just has like one extra note on it to the end of a measure, and you're like, that's such a weird time signature. How do you play that? What the fuck?
Yeah. That's just because, I don't really focus on like theory or anything like that. I'm just all emotional and like just thinking, like all of it comes straight from my brain as far as how I want this song to be structured. So, but it's the same thing though. Like I was saying, there's an uncomfort for people. That's probably an easier thing for people to overcome than the fret hand, though, in my opinion.
Maybe, I don't know, dude. Every time I like stop playing like primordial style riffs and I start playing metal again, it takes me like a month to 2 months just to get my right hand back up to speed, because like when I start playing again, I haven't played in a long time, my right hand will only be able to downpick at like 160 170 beats per minute, and a lot of those riffs be like 190 200 beats per minute. That shit's really fucking fast on your right hand. You have to like build up the muscles in your arm to do that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you almost gotta exhaust it just to get comfortable with
it's like
the exhaustion.
It's like weight training for your right hand. You have to like play to a metronome and speed it up over a few weeks. If you lose it, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, so I'll let you know how that goes. That's been the new struggle for me, is trying to learn someone else's song after a couple years of not learning anybody else's song. So I'm excited.
Right. You're probably right though that it is probably harder to learn the left hand techniques because it's not like a metronome thing. It's more of a technique thing. You have to like learn.
Well, not only that, it's the rhythm hand is in one placement. There's not much variables. Yeah. There's 27 frets or 24 frets that, up and down. Like, I mean, there's so many variations. There's not as many variations with the right hand.
Right.
So I don't know. It's a little harder for me. But again, that's something that actually makes me want to do it, is because it's what I'm lacking is left hand, fretwork. So it sounds really cool too. It's the song we're working on, so pretty excited to get it down. But
let me address what my grandpa said. He said the older you get, the harder it is to change. More people my age will not change. I mean, yeah, that's very true. And then he said, not that I know everything, but if something works, I'll have to be convinced to change. I mean, that makes sense why it happens that way. You get like, the older you get, it's harder for your brain to do it, but also it's like, I know something that works, so why would I change that, right?
Yeah. And so to what he was saying, what you're saying, Jim, though, is like, you would have to be convinced, like, that's understandable. Someone's not going to change.
Extra convincing, though.
But what makes the difference in somebody growing mentally, in my opinion, is if someone is willing to be convinced too. There's some people. There's two ways to approach that. It was like, I'm not going to do it differently unless I'm convinced. Or it's like, I've done it this way. I'm actually interested to hear why you're convinced that way. There's like two completely different ways of approaching that.
Yeah. I think I think my grandpa's saying sometimes it's being hard-headed. So he's like calling himself out on that. I'll say I'm hard-headed sometimes too, for sure. I think everyone is to an extent.
To a certain degree. Yeah.
It's hard not to be, honestly, though, because a lot of times you don't want to change your viewpoint on certain things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if someone came up to you right now and they're like, "Dude, I'm going to convince you that meat's good for you." How hard-headed are you going to be to receiving that?
I'm going to be hard-headed in the change, but the conversation's going to fascinate me, though.
I would be fascinated in the conversation, but I think I would still be like, "You're going to really have to convince me of that one, buddy." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's what would fascinate me, is like, I'd be interested in knowing how you're going to convince me of that. And like, I'm not, although I do have a particular conviction with this lifestyle, I am open-minded. And one thing about me is statistics and facts speak high volumes to me. So if you definitely have that involved in your conversation, you're going to have a lot of leverage with me. You're gonna make a lot of progress with me. But yeah, just aimlessly talking about things, it doesn't really get me as much as stats.
People with their anecdotal stories.
Yeah.
My grandpa ate bacon and eggs every day for 95 years.
Yeah.
He was as healthy as an ox.
And he smoked. Yeah, he lived to be 100. Like, okay, I understand there's exceptions. Like, there's something.
Like that's still anecdotal, dude. It's just an exception. That's not your average person.
Yeah, we got to go off of majority statistics and, trial runs and tests, That's the kind of shit that really gets my attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those type of people are the ones that don't have a lot. I mean, that's not a really meaningful conversation if that's all they're talking about. Is like, if they're using, it's how it's presented too. You know what I mean? Like, that can even be presented in a non-cringy way or a cringy way.
Right.
Cringy being like, hey, yeah, my grandpa, whatever, he ate meat his whole life, and that dude was a bodybuilder till he was 90 and then died at 100 or whatever, And then there's people that are like, the opposite of that would be like, hey, my grandpa, I think he, ate this way, and he was fantastic up until he was 100, and he's doing, he lived to be great and had a healthy life. Like, I think I'm wondering if the meat played a huge contribution to that. You see what I'm saying? Like, just the delivery is completely different.
It's a different mindset too when you say it that way.
Absolutely. It appears to be an open mind. It's like, oh, okay, that maybe that's an exception, or that maybe you're open to receiving new information too. So, but
yeah. What did he say? My grandpa said, "I do not eat eggs and bacon every day." Bucko. Lol. All right. Well, I know, but I wasn't talking about you. I was just putting a theoretical situation. I'm glad you don't eat eggs and bacon every day, because that'd be fucking terrible.
Oh, because you said your grandpa.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
He says he eats oatmeals and Raisin Bran. Hey, that's good. That's good.
There you go.
You should. I would recommend, if you're drinking cow's milk, though, just swap it out for a plant-based milk.
Oh yeah, that milk's terrible for your body.
Not even on a vegan aspect, just from like lactose intolerance, and it's just not good for your body. Like, I know plenty of people that aren't vegan that still like drink almond milk or oat milk or whatever, just because they just feel better when they do that.
Yeah, milk is just terrible for your body, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's huge. Yeah, well, we can go into that another time, but
yeah, there's
so many aspects as to why milk is not good for you, and that's just the health aspect of it, let alone the agricultural fucking disservice that's being done to the cows. It's fucking crazy, man. It's a whole nother level of it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's fucked up and it's gross.
It's fucked up and it's gross, exactly. This is really the only two strong words to put that into perspective.
When you break it down to it, that's basically the gist of it, man.
Yeah.
It's a horrific, disgusting practice. So
Yeah.
you know.
So
I was
you
saying
said
you
you
got
had
a
a
rant.
rant, right?
I do. What was my rant? Fuck. Oh, it was about these companies. All of the fucking companies telling me to vote. Like, why is Snapchat
Oh
asking
yeah,
me if I'm registered to vote? Why is fucking Facebook like? I wonder, like, are these companies getting paid by politicians to push voting onto us? Or, like,
probably,
what the fuck is the
probably,
point of it?
probably. There's. I mean, that's my initial reaction to that, and my initial suspicion to that. The thing is, like, it's always big too, and you gotta exit out to get it off your fucking screen, right? Like Instagram's doing that too. It takes up almost half the fucking screen. Like, register to vote, this and this. I'm like, dude, I don't want to look at this. Like, X this out, and then the X is so small you don't hit it, and you actually accidentally click on the thing, and it pulls up the actual site, and you're like, fuck, no, back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. It's and they're like, all these the fucking companies. Have you registered to vote? And then every vote matters. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. There's an electoral college. Like Washington's gonna vote for whoever we vote for, and my vote's not gonna fucking matter. It's so dumb.
What do you think about like high profile public figures, actors, actresses, sports players promoting to vote? I just seen a video that Zach Galifianakis put up about trying to convince people to vote, and I was like, why? Why?
I don't think that's as bad because it's like he's not a company. You know what I mean? He's just some dude.
Yeah, you
Whereas,
don't
like,
think there's a
why the
suspicion that there's any agenda behind that as far as
There
you think
might
it's
be, but
just
he's
him sitting around like, I think this is important. I should make a video about this. You think that's all him?
maybe with Zach. I mean, I'm just speculating. I'm sure not 100% of celebrities are that way, one way or the other. You know what I mean? I'm sure some of them have incentives, and maybe some of them actually think it's important. As we know, not all celebrities are very fucking smart. So who knows? You know?
Right.
I don't know how smart Zach Galifianakis is, but if you ask me how fucking smart Cardi B was, I'd be like, she probably has like 80 IQ. I don't know. You know, so
Yeah, I definitely appreciated Candace Owens talking shit about Cardi B, because I think she nailed it on the head. You know, when she was talking to him, talking to Cardi B about how, you know, Joe Biden did an interview with her. He didn't do an interview with anybody, and he decided to come out of the lurking to do an interview with you because of your strong political stance and involvement in this sector, right? No.
I feel like that's like a bad selling point for Biden. You could have picked any celebrity, and you picked fucking Cardi B.
Yeah.
You could have been like Leonardo DiCaprio or something. That'd be fucking Cardi B.
Yeah, right.
Like, imagine if he had like fucking talked to Joaquin Phoenix. I would be like, okay, all right, Joaquin's behind on this. Maybe that's the only fucking celebrity he could get. I don't fucking know, but you know,
I mean, yeah.
I find that unlikely because you know, people hate Trump. So I mean, people hate Biden too. But you know what I mean. I find it unlikely that he couldn't find a better celebrity than fucking Cardi B.
That was definitely a political, tactical, agenda based move right there. I mean, she right now has the #1 hit on the radio and has like 70 million followers. So that was completely just, you know, the following based decision. Her followers that being. So yeah, it's silly. So, but I agree, man. Like it's annoying that we're getting prompted all the time to vote. Well, it's annoying to me and you because we obviously have bias about that opinion, and we think it's, you know, that your vote doesn't matter necessarily as much as people are, you know, projecting.
If we lived in a swing state or something, yeah, where like the state could go either Republican or Democrat, but like we don't. The state almost always votes Democrat, so what does it even matter? I'm pretty sure the state's gonna vote for fucking Biden.
Yeah.
So, and also, I don't want to vote for either of them, so why the fuck would I do that? I got my fucking ballot in the mail, and I literally just threw it in the trash immediately. I took it from the counter, put it in the trash, and I was like, "Here's your place." I was like,
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I don't have time for it.
Heather did the same thing. We all just grabbed it. It's like, nope, I'm good on that.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. My grandpa said, "I think it's my civic duty to vote, even if it's just the exercise." But he also said, "That's my opinion." I mean, that's fine. You have your own opinion. But he also said he didn't vote the last election because he didn't like any candidates. And that's how I feel about last election and this election as well. I don't like any of the candidates since, I guess, Obama, right?
Yeah. So yeah, if you did vote, then that means you do think your vote matters, right?
Or maybe he just thinks the concept of voting is important, but maybe not necessarily thinks that his individual vote matters, but just like, you know what I mean? The ideal of voting, the institution of voting is important, so he's going to vote anyway.
Yeah. This didn't interest me. Never did. I voted once my whole life.
Yeah. I'd rather vote for like state stuff, voting for the governor or like electives here. Yeah. Laws and our electives. Like I did, it was for money, but I really did actually enjoy doing 502, the marijuana legalization.
Nice.
Petition back in the day.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed doing that. So.
Yeah. I think that was a good move, in my opinion. Not necessarily you doing that, but just legalizing
everyone doing it in general and getting that out there. That was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because it eliminated the black market, which is what, when I started getting into that growing operation, I was just on the curve of things being, black market being phased out. And so it was, and I very much, you guys have heard me talk about my experience with selling pounds and stuff like that. And I had a lot of bad experiences, man. So I think the 2 years I did it, having that many bad experiences, I can only imagine how many other bad experiences there were with other people doing black market selling. So
it's a sketchy thing to get into, anything black market.
Absolutely. It's real scary. It's not something nowadays when you go on Craigslist or OfferUp or something like that, you can actually, Lacey City Hall has a designated parking spot for you to set up a meeting at.
Really?
You can meet somebody. Yeah, you can meet somebody out there, which, I'm not saying that that's a, end all safe zone for everybody, but it does provide a peace of mind. Not too many, crimes are going to be committed right in front of the police station. So
yeah, I'm sure that's statistically much safer.
Yeah.
There'll still be incidents, but it'll probably be much less likely.
I thought that was a great idea.
It is a really good idea. Yeah,
I
actually like that.
Instead of meeting in a parking lot with somebody you don't know, absolutely exchanging cash. That's a bad idea these days.
Yeah, I always have, I always bring someone with me. I always brought Cody with me because Cody has he has guns, but he also has license to have the guns. So I'd be like, "Hey Cody, I'm gonna go sell my truck. You wanna come with me, dude?" He's like, "Yeah, let's go."
I've had so many sketchy moments, man. I remember one time I had this kid meet me in downtown Olympia. He was coming from Tacoma, buy a few pounds or something. That was when I wrecked my truck and I was in limbo there. I was borrowing Nick's dad's truck. They let me use it for a little bit. And I probably shouldn't tell them this now, but yeah, I was doing drug deals in their truck. But but hey, that was how I made my a good portion of my living, aside from my job. And so, but basically I met this guy downtown Olympia, and there was an event going on there. It was like some kind of festival where downtown Olympia was just flooded, cars, people everywhere. It was just packed, every road was blocked type thing with just too many cars. And so I decided to meet this guy. I was sketched out about it just in general. And so I called up, Josiah came with me. Josiah, he's always packing heat. And so he came with me, brought his piece with him. And as I was sitting there, I was talking to the guy. I was like, "Hey, where are you at?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I see you're in the green truck, right?" you got someone in the back seat too? I was like, oh yeah, that's me. And then he never came up to the truck after that.
Sketchy.
Right? Like just the fact that he knew someone was in the back seat with me deterred him from trying to probably rob me.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm so glad you got out of that, dude. That shit is sketchy.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't even like the idea when he came up with that idea, but like, you know, who am I to convince you not to do that?
Well, the idea never was to go to black market. That's just where we ended up at. I mean, I looked into 502s, into buying 502s, but my business partner thought that was too much of a hassle because of the taxes and all that shit you got to report, because you got to log everything. You know,
probably would have been the worthwhile investment, though, huh?
Yeah, that would have been the smartest way to go. But again, she was not the smartest decision maker. Unfortunately, she was the one that was financing it. So she kind of had the final say so as far as which direction we were going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So just a bad, freaking gnat keeps flying in my face.
Dude, there's fucking gnats everywhere. I don't know. These fucking gnats are annoying.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll die off here with the change in seasons.
True. Well, I guess it's 9:00, so.
Yeah, it's 9:00. So real quick though, there's something I saw on someone's back. You know how people draw funny things on their when there's dusty windows or something
on the
like
windows
that.
And shit, yeah.
Seen this dude driving around with just this freaking massive 3-foot long throbbing penis that had like veins in it and hairs like it was detailed. And I don't know if he noticed it or what, but this dude was just like seemed very peaceful driving and, you know, smile on his face. He was older dude, so he just didn't seem like that type of guy that would appreciate that.
Yeah. You're like, Malia, cover her eyes.
She wasn't with me. But yeah, I just thought that was
you were like, what's that,
dude.
Dad? You're like, fuck.
Right, don't look. Oh man, I thought that was the funniest shit though. I'm like, I would have noticed that.
Yeah, he looks up in his rearview mirror, he's like, son of a bitch.
Right, maybe he just didn't notice it and it was literally done right before he got on the freeway. So
it's like his son. He's like, yeah, I fucking hate that kid.
The amount of detail that went into that penis though was like,
you're like, they were definitely an artist.
Yeah, that was like Jonah Hill fucking super bad detail
awesome.
On dust art form. I was like, wow, dude.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So, all right, well, yep, we're at 9:00 here. So, you want to tell these folks where they can find us one last time before we get out of here?
Definitely, yeah. Check us out on Apple and Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter.
There you have it. And so yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. Appreciate you guys joining us today, Jim, Snakes, Brandon, right?
Yeah.
Forgot what was this? What was the whole name again?
Branded King Mod, the
guy that does I forgot what you call that. He's the guy that like goes into streams.
Yeah, he's like a moderator.
That's right. All right, Brandon, good to see you guys and come and join in the chat. So we'll check you guys next Wednesday. And so we'll have some more to talk about as we approach episode 50. We're getting closer and closer there. So we'll see you guys on Wednesday for episode 45. And we need to get another guest in soon.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll start thinking about some prospects here and get that going. So. But yeah, anyways, have a fantastic weekend and a good first half of your week. And we will see you guys on Wednesday. So until then, keep it viral.
Keep it contagious.
See you guys.